Congratulations on the film.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
It's kind of a dark one. Talk a little bit about your character, about who he is, and what the challenge of playing this character was for you.
So the character is Jacob McNeely, and he grows up in Appalachia, or at least initially, I think it was Appalachia. It might not be anymore. And yeah, I mean, he grows up with his dad, who's a small-time criminal, also does a lot of big jobs though, but he kind of helps out with the more petty stuff in the beginning. And his mom is estranged and is addicted to drugs, and the character just wants to get out. He's looking for a new start, a different start, a new life, something that he can, I think, be proud of and not feel ashamed that he's part of this family anymore. And I guess for the character, like, the struggles were one, not coming from that kind of family, and that's kind of where I talked a lot with the director and the writer, and I was very nervous, but they said that, they picked me off. I didn't audition for this movie, and I just met with the director, and he was, I met with him for an hour, and I was like, yeah, like, if I can audition, I'd love to. It sounds like fun. And he's like, no, you have it. And I remember asking him why, like, the first day I got there, that I thought made a mistake. We'll see when we see the movie, but I was like, why? And he's like, I just had a feeling about you. And we talked a lot about, I've had a lot of bad history with addiction and stuff like that. So we talked a lot about that. And you can bring that kind of darkness of your past into this story. And I think that was also a new thing I brought, like, to acting, where even if I wasn't this character, I've grown up in a completely different way. I've been fortunate, but I've also, as everybody has, traumatic things happen, or makes bad decisions or whatever. And that was pretty changing for the whole movie, to be able to bring my own shit.
Yeah, I mean, talk about it. That's not too personal for you. What was it like to, bring that level of experience to this character? Did you want to help people understand what it's like to go through these things?
Yeah, I mean, I think the movie alone does that, because it's a lot about how Jacob's feeling, I think, internally, and why he wants to leave, but he's scared to say it out loud to his dad. I mean, I hope this movie just brings light to, like, you can get out of whatever you're in with work. But for me, like, what I was thinking about the whole time is, like, fuck yeah, I'm not doing drugs anymore. And I hope people can try to, like, find some sort of, like, the get out factor in this movie.
Yeah. So you get to play Billy Bob Thornton's son. Talk a little bit about working with him, what that was like for you. Did he give you any acting advice, or advice on certain scenes?
Yeah, so I mean, working with him was, if it can be exactly what I expected, but it was better. I mean, Billy Bob Thornton is Billy Bob Thornton, like, all the way, and all the time. And I mean, he's so professional, and he's so ready to just execute every scene so well. And he'll even bring his own stories and just start going on, like, a rant of improv that's amazing, and it always makes it in the scene. But I asked him when we had a tough scene where I kind of threatened him at one point, and I was like, can I do anything different, like, for you? And he's like, brother, like, I'm a professional, I don't need nothing from you. And he just came up to me, he's like, is it okay if I do something you're not going to expect, if I throw a little something in there? I was like, oh yeah, thinking it was going to be a line. And at the end of the scene, he just started wailing on me and slapped me maybe 50 times, back and forth, back and forth. And And they called cut. I like leave the room, come back, and he's like, "That was that good, bud?" I was like, "Yeah, that was good." And it just like that immediately like put me in a zone. Also, like, yeah, he's good, and that hurt, but like, don't fuck with this guy because he was in character.
That's awesome. You also got to work with your mom on the film. What was it like? You know, she's a big actress and with a lot of time on her hands, a lot of experience on and doing roles like this. What was it like to work with her?
That was like the best thing ever. My mom is me and my mom have a very tight relationship. We're really good friends. We like to hang out and stuff. So before she started shooting, she'd just be on set and we'd smoke cigarettes and talk with each other. And then when we started shooting, that was the first time I've ever acted with my mom. And I've acted with the rest of my family before. And I don't know, she flipped me out. I was like, damn, like she's so good. And for her to be playing a meth addict was just terrifying. Because I don't know, like she's had no experience in that way, but she played it perfectly. And working with her was so much fun, but also I felt very lucky because I've always had a fear of doing crying scenes just because I was like, I hate when it's fake crying. I can always tell. And like immediately I walked in that room with my mom in that scene and I just started crying, like couldn't help myself.
I was curious for you, was it like a foregone conclusion that you were going to get into acting because you come from this big acting family, or is it just how did you get the bug for it?
Yeah, well, it was the last thing I ever wanted to do. I'm very shy and I like never take pictures too, so it was weird that I was going to do something with camera. But yeah, how I got into it the first time is I asked my dad on a movie he did if I could be a PA because that's what I was PAing for commercials, and I was like, I know what I can do this. And he was like, yeah, sure. And then like 3 months before they went and started shooting, I asked again, and he's like, no, you're gonna be in it. And I was like, absolutely not. Like I never will do this. He's like, just read the part. I read the part. I was like, yeah, it's a cool character. I'm not doing this. And he's like, well, you'll get paid and you'll get to learn how to fly helicopters. And I was like, sold. And then I did it. And working with my dad, I thought was going to be a nightmare just because he's my dad. But I had such a great time. And, you know, if I can have a great time with him, I can have a great time on a lot of other sets, I think.
Yeah, that's awesome. So finally, what was the toughest scene for you to shoot?
I would say when I find my mom's body, that I think that was the hardest because that wasn't her, you know, like that was a double. And I thought it was gonna be her. So like the day before we did the crying scene, I was like, perfect. Like this is gonna be an easy scene, like seeing her dead. And it became really hard because, you know, like the double's like, hey Hopper, nice to meet you, and then gets on the bed and like puts blood on her, and it like threw me out of it. I think that was the toughest. Also, any scene where I'm just in the tidy whities was terrible because we were in Georgia and it was freezing cold every day. And like also it's like, you know, you get to set and you're all warm and stuff and you see all these people with like down coats next to heaters and they're like, okay, strip. It's like the worst thing ever. I asked Ben so many times, the director, I was like, can we just have me wearing like long johns under my jeans or like something a little bit longer than these tidy whities? And he's like, no, it's so good that way. Like tidy whities are so representative of Jacob. I was like, I really don't think so, but that actually was the toughest.
That's funny. Hey, Hopper, thank you so much for taking time to talk to us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the film.
Thanks for watching the You Interview channel. With over 3,000 original celebrity videos, We have one of the largest collections of celebrity interviews anywhere. So remember to like and comment on our videos and subscribe to the channel. If you want to get more involved, you can become a member of the channel. Membership has its perks. You can see exclusive celebrity videos and get the opportunity to ask our celebrity guests questions. We can't wait to hear from you.